Some news out of Washington this weekend. The George Preston Marshall Monument at RFK Stadium was removed. Now, obviously, the team hasn't played there in decades, but it was a reminder of the fact that the momentum is moving toward potentially changing the name of the team. We talked last week about a message that was sent by Coach Ron Rivera to the organization, to the employees of the organization, regarding things that they are going to do, actions they are going to take. And it felt to me like an invitation for someone to initiate organically from within the team itself a push to consider changing the name, a dictionary-defined racial slur. So that all is pending, and we'll see how many other voices join in on that. But there have been columns by people like Jarrett Bell of USA Today. There was an editorial board item from the Washington Post on Friday, and there is that pressure on the team, and this removal of the George Preston Marshall Monument only adds to the idea that maybe this is the time, and if not now, when, to change that name, Chris.
Yeah, well, I think the pressure is going to continue to mount. I mean, this fight's not going anywhere, as we saw again this weekend. There's still protesters out across the country trying to get rid of symbols that remind people of bad times or a bad part of history. And I get that, and hey, I do think the Redskins name it should be in big trouble. It should be changed. Sorry, that's just the way it is. It's disrespectful. It is. And you wouldn't go up to a Native American on the street and, call them that to their face, especially a true tribal one like we've talked about, Mike. Now, when it comes to George Preston Marshall, I mean, are you shocked by this? Of course not. I mean, this was a guy that was considered like the biggest racist in the NFL for a long, long time. And people are just sick of those people kind of being memorialized. But go ahead. Sorry.
He actively resisted integrating his team. He had to basically go kicking and screaming. He had to be threatened. He had to be leveraged by the Kennedy administration to finally bring Bobby Mitchell onto the team in the early 60s. And coincidentally, and maybe this is just a baby step toward what could be coming, the lower bowl at FedEx Field was named for George Preston Marshall. It is going to be named for Bobby Mitchell. They are going to retire Mitchell's number. He died earlier this year. So maybe the clues are out there as to where this thing is going. But, actions are happening. The question is, will they stop short of changing the name? And we'll see. And we'll see if there's any pressure that comes from within the organization at the vague general invitation of Ron Rivera to the employees of the team last week to suggest things they can do to be part of this effort to change in this historic moment of awakening when it comes to racism and social justice. Will it happen from within? And if it does, will Daniel Snyder heed the call, Chris?
Well, I mean, I wish he would. Daniel Snyder, I mean, I know he's an intelligent man. I don't look at Daniel Snyder and the fact that I've been around him one or two times in my life and go, oh, this guy's just evil. He's got evil in his eyes. No, I don't look at it that way. Do I agree with everything he's done as an owner of his football team? No, I don't. Have I liked how he's handled certain situations? No, not all of them. But I mean, I got respect for the guy, and I would think he would be smart enough to know right now, like, hey, man, you can make like a real positive, impact on society and do something and show leadership once again to go, hey, the time for change is now. And I see that. And I'm going to change this ridiculous Redskins name into a name that is, more glorifying to Native Americans or something more positive, whatever it may be. I would hope he would do that. I would hope he could look at himself in the mirror and do those type of things. But, these days of the George Preston Marshalls and Confederate monuments and things like that, it's over. It's done. It should be over. It's disrespectful to a huge part of our country. And I don't want to see it. I'm a white American, and I got nothing to feel uncomfortable about racially. But when I used to pass by that kind of crap at Texas, I always got like the willies. I was like, what the hell is this? What are we glorifying this for? And I just don't like it. So I'm all in for the George Preston Marshalls and all that type of stuff to come down, and let's move on with more of a positive frame of society and not remind everybody of bad things all the time.
The connection to slavery is grounds enough for making those changes. The fact that a lot of these individuals were part of an effort to overthrow the government of the United States should be all that we need to realize that they should not be glorified and never should have been in the first place. And you'll wonder what the message was to the former slaves and what the purpose was in glorifying them at all. All right, we got to take
and
a
then
break.
wanted a vote to count, wanted to give them the 3/5 compromise while we're there, and all that crap. I don't want to get into history. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.